are live. We are live. We are live. Let's go ahead and get this shared as the people come on in. Welcome to the Quarantine Sunday. Quarantine Sunday.
Did you do your own echo?
Yeah.
We don't have any of those on the show. You just say
Yeah. I did my own echo.
I don't think you should force it like that.
Yeah, I did my own echo.
I don't think you should
Man.
like that.
Let's get this shared.
Yeah, give me. Yeah.
But you know when they had the
Why I can't hear you? Why I can't hear you? Why I can't hear you? Why I can't hear you?
George, we can't hear you. You're muted, friend.
I can't hear none of y'all.
I can hear. Yeah,
we can't hear you.
What's wrong?
I can hear George.
I turned my volume down.
Yeah, I can't hear y'all. Go out and come back in or something.
Yeah. Go ahead and come back in.
Toya, hold on. Can y'all hear each other?
I can hear. Yeah, I can hear her, and I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear everybody. I was tripping. I'm sorry.
I can't hear nothing.
Go out and come back in.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah. Go. Yeah. All right. Yeah. As y'all join us, we working out a few technicalities. Look, hey, Dr. Dancy, no.
Real quick, caught it slipping, Dominique.
Hey, bro, immediately, it would be Dr. Dancy too. He would be the first one to be on that.
I hear y'all now.
You do better than
we definitely having the Teddy Riley moment. We definitely.
What's up, Nancy? Hope you're doing good this Sunday.
Man,
still relaxing, all of those things, staying safe.
Look, hey, Dr. Dancy, I knew you couldn't. We're gonna get into it, but I knew you couldn't wait, boy. I knew you could not wait.
Jump in the comments and say what's up if you up in here. Drop, a heart emoji, a like emoji real quick. Let us know you interacting with us, vibing with us real quick. We ain't gonna be with y'all all night long, but we do want to definitely tap in and talk a little bit about a little something. So, in and out operation.
In and out,
In and out operation.
I mean, and look, share it. You feel me? Share the video. That's how you get more people to watch us. That's how we do us a favor. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick.
Do us a favor. Also, we are, if you can't stay on Facebook or Facebook messing up your phone and you want to just go ahead and throw on the headphones and not really have to pay attention and keep it on Facebook, we are also live on YouTube. So,
on YouTube.
Can't listen to us right now, but want to come back later, we're going to be on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts. Just Google us. We're streaming a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Big deal me. I feel like I missed that. I feel like I missed the intro because it was, what I'm saying. It was like I had that Teddy Riley juice something. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get me to throw the tile in. You feel me? So shit.
Throw the
tile. Back, you feel me? Y'all know it's your boy Conscious Lee, George Lee. Don't forget the Lee. GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. Y'all know where to find me at. You know what I mean?
We had
like 3 minutes and 30 seconds late, but hey, better late than never.
We actually hadn't done the introduction, so it's all
there, bro. We sharing it.
It's cool. That's George Lee, the Conscious Lee. It's your girl Toya G, hanging out, chilling, quarantining, and all those things. Hoping y'all doing good and feeling good. We out here.
Yeah, once we get this share, we're gonna do all of that extra shit. All right, I got it shared. And if you just joined us, make sure, like Toya said, like the video, say what's up, and then share it. We can get it cracking. All right.
Go ahead, do it.
Let's go ahead and get into it. I'll bring us on in.
Okay.
All right, let's get it. This is the Chop Up. We here, Quarantine Sunday. Thank y'all for joining us. You know what I mean? It's your boy Damo, the political plug in the building. And I am here with the lovely
Toya Green, aka Toya Green, in this thing. Toya G, if you want to just shorten it up like that much. But that's pretty much that's it. And that's all out here hanging tight, quarantining, keeping it cool, keeping it cute. Not really. I need to retweet y'all. Somebody come up.
And we all out here looking rough. And next to Toya, we got my man.
Hey, next to Toya, we got George Lee, aka Conscious Lee. Don't forget the Lee. Hey, check me out, GeorgeLeeSpeaks.com. Bring me to a place near you. Quarantine
Hey,
Sunday.
Gatherings of 50 or less, but it's still gonna be worth it. Okay, we rotate them in 50 by 50. Okay,
Right.
All right.
And we are here. This is another quarantine Sunday, quarantine weekend. It's easier to get it in on the weekends when y'all ain't got nothing to do. Take advantage of that there. You know what I'm saying? But how y'all feeling? How y'all been doing in this this shelter in place? If you're gonna be, correct about the scenario. But what y'all been on, man? How y'all been dealing with the shelter in place, the quarantine?
I've been
daddy. I got 2 kids. You feel me? My wife just started a night. You know what I'm saying?
Night shift.
Yeah, night shift tonight. So
making it work.
Making it work, man.
Surviving. What about you, Toya?
Unstable sleep schedules. Still lecturing, grading, doing all those fun things, but really living a whole lot of indoor life.
A lot of that indoor life.
Yeah. And I'm adjusting. I'm adjusted a whole lot better now than I was before. So I'm grateful for that. But really just trying to make it work, yeah. Because we'll be in here for a while. Unlike Texas and Florida, that's our problem.
Yeah.
I'm saying where I'm at.
I feel like we live in 2 different worlds, man. I'm talking about one ran by the economy, the other one ran by science, and I feel like we got to collide in 2 industries and 2 worlds right now.
I know we're gonna talk about it though. We're gonna talk about it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna start out with the Snapchat real quick. And without a doubt, we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the Teddy Riley Babyface hits battle. That I think the best word, if I'm being generous, underwhelming.
So exactly how long did it last? Like how long did it last exactly?
I don't know. I know it was like it got to a point where Teddy Riley was talking about he needed like 30 minutes to get, to get shit back together. You feel me? It was just
30
I kept dipping out and getting back to it because like I was embarrassed for the boy. You feel me? Like it was like
All I know I heard is that he had a room full of people and the damn one didn't know how to do
nothing. What about you, Toya? What was your reaction to it?
So I had been turned off from it because it was supposed to be the weekend prior, and I was just like, when they canceled it and Swiss Beats and them was like, oh, we about to do something, about to set something up, we got to fix some stuff, we to make sure it's perfect for y'all. I was like, I got a feeling it's about to turn into some bullshit it's not supposed to be. And that's been the biggest response that I've agreed with, which is why I passed on watching it, because I had made my mind up a week ago that y'all was turning it and kind of trying to pump it up. Here's what I found out, because y'all know I'll be on Twitter. This nigga had it streaming live on his website, right? So he had a separate stream for it where he was trying to get and monetize a whole lot of the aesthetic and a whole lot of the component he was trying to bring to it. So he was streaming from somewhere else, which is why it was probably echoing. That was the biggest feedback I heard, that the video was echoey and all kind of stuff like that, is because you was trying to broadcast on 2 different components and then untangle that. And then second, here you go trying to make it something it's not supposed to be. This is for niggas locked in the crib. Like, why are we?
Yeah,
that was so disappointing to me. So I didn't watch it and don't plan on seeing it, but I'm grateful that Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook got the recaps for me. Dr. Nancy tagged me in the post and brought me to the information. So it's just like I get to piece it together, and I don't have to sit through the cringe-worthy nature of some shit turned into something it was never supposed to.
It was like 3-ish rounds. So in 3 rounds, Teddy Riley was able to success. And shout out to you too, Jada. Teddy Riley was able to successfully embarrass himself.
Yeah, man.
Bro,
to be like, this was the definition of doing too damn much. He was doing diggity too damn much.
I feel like because I didn't see it though, and for people also people that didn't see it, what exactly did he do that made it where what did he do that was doing too much outside of him trying to string it from 2 different places and monetize one of them? What else did he do?
He tried to make it a production.
Yeah,
he tried to make it like
it was a band in the background.
Yeah, like
musicians and shit in the background. Like, for what?
His whole thing was to like perform it, like to do like a melody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how when you put they supposed to be going back for back. You're just supposed to be playing the song. You feel me? But he tried to turn it into something where it was like it was a performance. He tried to perform all of the shit that he was doing. And that's what made it, and that's what was doing to, bro. You were just supposed to play the shit. That was the battle. Like I play my shit, you play your shit. I play my shit, you play your shit. He was trying to perform, turn it into a concert.
He
Man,
said he had 80 niggas on TV. He had 80. So hold on. I thought the social distancing. I thought that was like nationwide.
That's hyperbole. It's hyperbole, but it might as well.
Hey, bro, I took my dog for a walk, and it was like niggas having a party in an apartment complex.
For real though. I heard he had like 20
Nah,
that's what I heard. 20.
Danielle said he had a whole crew.
That's crazy.
He clearly didn't test it out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the situation was.
And y'all pushed it back and had time to do that. Can't y'all go live? I don't go live a lot. Can't y'all go live where nobody see it? Or is that on Facebook?
Yeah, you can go. Well, I think it's only on Facebook where you go live and nobody sees it.
Burn the live session, run a demo session, or you just doing little cute, little cool stuff on camera to see how it run and how it play. But for y'all to have put it off and prolonged it to say I want to raise the quality, and that's what niggas came up with. You hate to see it. And so I feel like it was a moment for the culture taken. I feel like it detracted from the battle. I hope they learn from it. I hope if they have future battles that there's nothing like this. Because nobody want to see all of that. It took the wind out of my sails a week before it happened. As soon as I saw it ruined and being undone and redone, I was like, okay, never mind.
I mean, the thing about it though is that it was because, you know, Babyface just won because he wasn't trying to do all of that extra shit. He was just gonna play the song.
But it wasn't the full 20 songs though, huh?
Yeah, because whatever he had, it wasn't working. Like, well, actually, I think one of the best memes. Let me go ahead and share. Let me share this meme. This is what people are saying was the Teddy Riley's issue here. Let me go ahead and pull it up on the share screen so niggas can see this shit. This is what we was dealing with. Hold on.
Feedback is coming from.
That's Teddy Riley camp troubleshooting. This who Teddy Riley had.
Yeah.
Fixing this shit. You feel me?
Pop off.
That's why Teddy Riley shit wasn't working right there. You feel me? These bro, you niggas who was making music in the 90s trying to stream some shit.
Like, it makes your production instead of keeping it simple. I don't understand why you don't.
I feel like you can't let Teddy Riley be the moniker for all the niggas in the 90s because he ain't have his stuff right. Because you know what I'm saying? Apparently, my man, you feel me? Babyface had hits in the 90s and he had no issues. And Lil Jon, they just played the music. That's what
everybody did, bro. That's what everybody just played they shit.
And what Danielle said is what makes it funny. She said that Babyface was sitting there like, which is exactly how Scott Storch was sitting there when Mandy Fresh kept playing all of his deep cuts, and Scott Storch was just like.
But Mandy Fresh was just like, because it's like it was some niggas that connected to that would listen and be like, yeah, Manny killing that shit.
Yes. I will continue to argue in that battle. He won the cultural award, but did not play to the merits of the competition, right? Which is why he got the stone face. Because if it's hits, then let's play hits. If it's deep cuts,
but I heard,
let's have that
conversation on that battle though, Toya.
Somewhere else.
I heard that Scott Storch was stretching on playing things that he didn't produce. He played things that he's trying to play entire
but
records.
That is within the merits. I've used the word merits. That's within the merits of the competition.
Yeah.
Niggas playing all types that's within the boundaries.
I seen an interview. I was understanding that it's like records that you created, records you've done.
I was under the perception that it's records that you had a deep influence on, and deep is deep, right? You get to interpret deep how you want to interpret it. Yeah. I interpret it, but it's anything.
This is Dr. Dre record.
Yeah, I like the piano, right?
Introduction.
But that's what I'm saying. That piano was crucial.
But that's what I'm saying. That's how you know it hits. It resonates in a special way. So, like in terms of your relationship to it, cool. I'd rather that than you play a whole bunch of shit off of a 17-song album and it's like track 13 that niggas might not even got to.
I ain't even heard of.
But you think
ain't got no juice.
It popped in a region, but it didn't pop on the radio. Like it's a huge difference.
And too, I think not to even give up too much on what you call it, but Jada said DJ D Nice had a nice little after party. What should have been played? Think about talking about an after party in terms of an Instagram live feed that you playing music listening to. Zay, stop.
Yeah, niggas was in that hoe.
Absolutely. I mean, but D Nice be having shit cracking, y'all. I be watching him because he out here in LA. 2:00 in the morning. He'd be like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna play one more song and get on out of here. And play 11 more songs. Like, he is committed to this craft. He DJs on Instagram all day long. He is constantly live. During the middle of the day, he'll get on live and do it with somebody and just kind of vibe out with some other DJ or some celebrity or something like that. But he'll play some grooves and some jams during the day and then play some like y'all just, if y'all are not following D Nice on Instagram, you are playing yourself, because I rated 2 old school hits that I don't know nothing about. But because I don't know them, I don't get distracted by them, but they still groove. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's cool to just have him there just spinning for a nigga like ready to rock. It's great.
And I say this, and then we could go ahead and get into the first chop.
Hey, into to the viewers, man. I apologize, man. Right now I'm in my, you know what I'm saying, my multitasking mode. You feel me?
Yeah, so, daddy daycare. You gotta handle the business. But I'll say this, and then we can get to the first chop. Check it out. This was supposed to be the battle of the heavyweights. Out of everybody, you know what I'm saying, who had even with Manny Fresh and Scott Storch and all of that. When you talk about genre-defining producers, like the best of they shit, the best, like, cause we ain't seen JD and Dr. Dre, and we ain't seen Kanye. We ain't seen none of these niggas do no battles yet. Teddy Riley and Babyface was on them niggas levels in terms of their craft. You feel me? And that shit, like we deserve better than that.
Yeah,
we deserve better than that. And I blame Teddy for doing too much, bro. You had to all you had to do was let the music speak for itself. Because I would have gave you the edge.
So hopefully tomorrow he take y'all advice. Tomorrow night we see him just doing it like
you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But that is what that is. That was a snapshot.
I won't be like, I'm over it. Niggas is over it. I think he lost.
Like, it's over, man. It's the third time y'all didn't listen to it. Like the third event day, third date. I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. I mean, but we can just go back and just enjoy Teddy Riley music, knowing that he took this L. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the first chop of the night. Let's go ahead and keep it serious. My favorite topic, the political chop. And I got a couple of good things for y'all tonight. The first thing we're gonna discuss on tonight's political chop is bye Bernie.
Bye.
You know what I'm saying? Hit it with the Justin Timberlake. You feel me? They was doing a little spin shit. Yeah. Bernie's out of there, bro. Like he, we knew this was coming, but the savior of the progressives has been crucified. Joe Biden is the nominee. It's guaranteed. Bernie Sanders has come out in support of Joe Biden. And then Obama gonna come out supporting Joe Biden too. If I was Joe Biden and Obama came out to support me after everybody else started fucking with me, I'm like, all right, nigga, you don't even mean the same. You know what I'm saying? But that's where we are though. So I know if we go back to some of the conversations we had, Bernie Sanders did have y'all excited about certain things. Y'all did feel like he deserves y'all vote. What are y'all reactions to Bernie Sanders being out of that thing?
It hurt my feelings. And I think the thing that made me sad the most is that we were able to see him demonstrate what his approach to strategic responses to crises are. Whereas I felt like Joe Biden completely disappeared. At times where he needed to be saying things, people needed to be here. Like, yes, universal health care is important in the face of a pandemic. People having care that they can depend on is like, it was just not there. And so I felt like it sucked that we saw Bernie Sanders perform and saw how he would adapt to these types of experiences when we see Donald Trump failing and Joe Biden being a ghost. And now it doesn't matter for anything because he already got the delegates. You know what I'm saying? So that frustrated me. But
yeah. And George, what? Go get your reaction in terms of Bernie Sanders being out of that thing.
I mean, I feel like it was a long time coming. I almost felt like he could have linked up with Elizabeth Warren a little bit better. I thought there could have been some type of, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a real type of left radical solidarity movement made. If they could have, I feel like made a little thing together earlier. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean? Like them kind of being like a duo, like them getting that shit in together. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean,
but both of them couldn't have been president though. Both of them, like one of them, Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
like
I
on
mean,
one
partially,
of them.
I think about it. Partially, I'm just talking. I mean, I think that I like a lot of the ideas that Bernie Sanders had, but I do think that he kind of fell real flat in terms of being able to engage the black community. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of times he overcompensated for walking with Martin Luther King back in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I think he overcompensated for having profound speakers like Killer Mike and you know what I'm saying, and shit like that, being able to speak for him. And I think that he kind of used it as a substitute or a tool to not do nothing.
Him and his
like down south.
I don't disagree, and it wasn't lost on me either that, I mean, it's just another old ass white man that we up here, you know, semi-capping for to do some things that it should have never came down to him in the first place. It's just when you look at just how you want better for people, and that's why I'm in such, you know, a weird position now in terms of how I'll vote now that this is the reality. It's just because you just want better for yourself and for people. And so it's kind of like, even when we realized Barack Obama wasn't really doing shit for niggas proper, he was able to talk the language and kind of just, you know, be in because he was black, but he wasn't really necessarily talking hardcore about when it was time to really do solid things. We were hoping that by extension and by connection, a lot of the residual benefits from a lot of his policy decisions would affect us. So we had the benefit of Barack Obama talking specifically to black people, but I think, you know, whereas we didn't have that with Bernie, we still had things he wanted to do that by connection would positively impact niggas. And that's what we was going to get out of this election cycle, out of these candidates. So somebody who was just really talking solid. Another reason why I think I was so in love with Elizabeth Warren is because to me, she took it even further in terms of how things would specifically and residually affect niggas. And so let me see. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow, and I hate that it happened. I hate that I was put in a position to even be excited about his candidacy. Is I think one of the things that I resent the most. But,
yeah, disappointing. So given that
Ukraine, I guess Trump wasn't crazy at all. After all, he knew he had to see Biden in the end. So you feel me?
I mean, yeah, I think that was something that they all knew. It's the reality of it. So what do you? I mean, given those circumstances, like even outside of just like okay, another old white man, Toya, what is your emotions towards him not being able to just connect with black people like that? Because that's what we seeing. You feel me? Like I
hate that he was not able to connect with black people like that, and that can be all well and good, but niggas have decided to align with like people who are clearly like rapists, right? Or sexual abusers. Like why does that resonate with you? Like I understand Bernie didn't perfect the message to, you know, like the Dear Black People message, but why in the face of a lot of other incongruences, things like healthcare and things like the ways that he's been dealing with this sexual assault stuff, why is that not moving enough for you? Why is that not captivating enough for you to be like, as black people, I'm out? You know, that I think that is what's troubling for me. And this is where establishment Democrats and the notion of establishmentarianism or even shifting toward that is so troublesome because they don't give a shit about the same shit that Republicans don't care about. And that is troubling.
George, I know you was kind of familiar with a lot of what was it? Roland Martin was talking about in terms of because when we look at how Joe Biden was able to get the black vote the way that he did, it was older black people. I mean, I remember even talking to my mom about it, and she was just because she called a nigga and was just like, all right, who we voting for? And y'all be proud of me. I told her Bernie Sanders. Like when we first talked,
that's the credit I give to Joe Biden though, is that when you talk to, I feel like black people that's used to doing voting and used to being like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, shit, they were saying Joe Biden from a jump almost, you know what I'm saying? And then especially when you talk about, I feel like maybe a month and a half ago, you know what I'm saying? It was just like the language, the rhetoric of Bernie Sanders made most black folks feel like, man, I'm used to some, man, I've been sold a dream by old white men before. I ain't finna buy one today, damn it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I watched the black folks I was talking to.
A lot of the statistics associated with black people and their perception of like really far left progressive ideas. When you look and see how many conservatives are self-proclaimed conservatives make up the Democratic Party, it's like you'll be confused. I think black people make up 67%, or actually, I think it's like 36% of people who vote Democrat that consider, and we'll get George back in here, but 36% of the people who consider themselves conservatives make up the Democratic or the Democratic Party, like who votes Democrat. You feel me? because you have what you would consider conservative Democrats. But what it is that black people are more moderate. The far left progressive shit for especially the mainstream voting population is just not with that that really, you know, far reaching socialism, all of that type of shit. So from your perspective, if older black people made up so much of what ended up becoming his victory in terms of beating Bernie Sanders, why don't y'all think like young black people showed up and supported Joe Biden the way that older black people showed up to supported Bernie Sanders?
People in general didn't show up to vote. And so I think that there is an intersectional issue, not only with captivating young black people, but captivating youth voters, right? And that's where we start to get into, and this is not a bashing or a shaming of youth voters or a lack of a youth turnout, because there are a bunch of legitimate barriers to doing that we have to think of and be conscious as well. And things that just have disenchanted and disengaged people from participating in political processes. That being said, the numbers continue to be bad for voters, young voters particularly, who say they want shit to be different. And so we have to kind of deal with both sides or both realities. The fact that things are encouraging that, but also the fact that is a lot of young people's reality, is they just don't vote and don't plan to, and have to start answering questions about that response. Because old people are showing up. They're coming. They care, but they kind of don't care. As long as their interests are generally protected, they pulling up to go vote. And so the relationship to that voting process is very different for old black people.
George, in terms of, you know, what stopped Bernie from galvanizing that? Because when Obama was able to, you know, make history, it was a coalition, right? Like, I mean, when it comes to liberals, there is not just one voting block that's going to give them a victory. Liberals have to piece together different coalitions in order to create the numbers needed to pull out a victory.
I mean, but I think voting for Barack Obama was as much a political moment as it was a cultural moment. So it was something to participate in that was cool. It was on the same level in terms of participatory salience and value as the chicken sandwich. You know what I'm saying? It was something that you went to go do. I mean, honestly, I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I think about some of the. We can't hear you, Lee.
Was you talking, George?
We can't hear
you, bro. We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear us. We can't hear you.
We got some comments jumping in too, but I think that's the biggest difference, is that voting for Barack Obama, I think, represented something a little bit more trendy and shiny and sexy than it does voting for other candidates.
That's an excellent point. I mean, because when we talk about Barack Obama, I say he was the first celebrity president.
Yeah,
Barack Obama. Niggas, I get hype about this, but we don't understand how unprecedented it is that a president sung Al Green.
Yeah, true.
I'm so in love with you.
Still can't hear you.
Whoa! From the president,
From
like
the president of the United States.
Nigga carried a note, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, George, you might want to drop out and come back in, bro. Yeah.
Check out Marquis' comment though.
Yeah, I was gonna get right into it. Yeah. But you're 100% right. Obama was a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? He had a cultural impact. 100%.
I think that's what saved him in that second election too, if I can say that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what maintained his legacy.
Yeah.
But
he's so cool. He dances and sings.
Right, niggas don't. Yeah. But Marquis said Bernie lost hurt, but it shifted the electoral. Yeah, we still can't hear you, bro. Yeah, go ahead, get that worked out. Yeah, we be right here. Go ahead, get that worked out. But Marquis said Bernie lost hurt, but it shifted the electoral landscape and will launch a lot of interest in politics in the future. It makes me think about the future of the black vote and how the Democratic Party won this battle. And he corrected himself. WON won this battle, but is losing the war. The party will be destroyed in its current form. It is so dependent on the black voter bloc that will change dramatically over the next 10 to 15 years with the death of the nostalgia of civil rights and the urgent need to resolve racial economic oppression. All right, you good now, G Lee. And I think that's before we move on, because I think that's an excellent point to actually segue and to the point that I was gonna make, but I want George to chime in. We can hear you now, bro. Chime in on in terms of galvanizing that coalition that Barack Obama, the type of coalition that Barack Obama was able to get. Why don't you think Bernie Sanders was able to do that with like young people, especially young black voters?
I think that when it come down to it, he didn't know how to talk to black people. I think that what I got from the analysis from Roland Martin is that even when Roland Martin, a black, you know what I'm saying, a network, like I said, black network, a black channel or a black, you know what I'm saying, a TV show, a podcast reached out to them to try to have somebody on their black staff. I mean, somebody black on their staff to come talk on the show. They ain't have one. They, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't get back with them. So in my mind, I think given the ideas that Bernie Sanders had, I think there was literally a big disconnect on how those ideas related to black folks. I feel like he wasn't trying to.
I mean, I feel like he has, but you pointed out in the same breath a couple minutes ago that he has his black delegates and hench-persons to go out there and do his talking for him.
I think it's different.
Last name, Killer Mike, whatever. And so I say all that to say Roland Martin's credibility as a journalist is also in a level of skepticism. He does have a voice. He does have a platform. But I think to use him as like the benchmark of couldn't send a black delegate out there. Not that I disagree with that, but it's just like, you got to think about who we're talking about because Roland Martin really ain't the T. Get y'all's friend out of our comments. But also,
because he wants to, Chris X. We not talking about 5G causing coronavirus, bro. So this probably ain't the stream you want to be on.
Yeah. Shout out to my YouTube University graduates, man.
You know what I'm saying? And that's completely understandable in terms of what you saying, Toya. But I think that this next portion of the conversation. Actually, let's get into the comments before we get into the next portion.
Yeah, Terrell says a professor put it like this in regards to what we were saying about Obama. Obama fans went from voting for change to voting as change. It wasn't about what he did policy-wise. It was that he existed and that folks voted for him. I also think that is the narrative that black people have had to kind of internalize and take as good enough in terms of reflecting on his presidency and its significance as black history, as whatever, as being like, we did some shit because some shit had to be done. It was important to put that notch on the belt. It's important to mix up the white. What Cat Williams say? White. There's a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a moment to do it. Niggas was like, we got to secure that bag. Oh, we get to run it back. You know what niggas do? We run it back. And so, I mean,
no issue.
I definitely don't disagree with that. And I feel like that is the version of his presidency that I'm most comfortable kind of stomaching, is why I voted how I did from time to time.
All right. Great comment by the boy Terrell. Let's see. Marquis said Roland is not. That's not.
Hey, Marquis, you know, one time I got into a Roland Martin, man. I just be listening to him, you know what I'm saying, now and then. I thought he had a pretty good analysis, though. Like, Bernie Sanders campaign.
We might talk about that clock.
I feel like maybe the example of the person not coming, but I thought that you know what I'm saying, the fact that Bernie Sanders didn't have campaigns, meetings in down south, like places like Alabama, Mississippi, that he canceled those and never replayed those. I thought that really hurt him. Things like that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like to me that speaks to the things that he was doing and wasn't doing.
No, I agree. I mean, I definitely also think he has the old white man problem at the end of the day. And that's not a racism problem either. That's a don't know how to talk, like George said, don't know how to talk to
black people, really. And I feel like, and to me, how I took, you know what I'm saying, how I take people like Killer Mike speaking for Bernie Sanders, I think that he overcompensated for the black celebrities that vouched for him and did not get no black people that really be on the ground and grassroots movements to speak for him. And I feel like it made it where he literally didn't have no boots on the ground when it came to being in the black community. You know what I'm saying? Joe Biden got enough sense to go send some people to a black church. You feel me? In South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West. He's sending them. You feel me?
I agree with all of this. I agree with all of this as long as we hold it true insofar as we still have a black voter issue, which is only one big component of our voting population goes out and participates. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can do all the work, you can do all the, but again, like niggas, a lot of niggas participated in Barack Obama because it was the cool thing to do, not because we saw such a huge lapse in that when Donald Trump won. It was like niggas could have pulled up a little bit more too. Black women took the brunt of that, but young black voters, black men, a whole lot of people failed you know what I'm saying, the possibility for people like Hillary Clinton to pop up and go ahead and sustain that wall for the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? It was just black women just did all the work and heavy labor. So we always have some top heavy component of our population go and do all this work, and it's never young, upset, frustrated niggas. You know what I'm saying? So Marquis said it in the comments. There's not enough political presence. There's not enough votes to actually create the political momentum you need for the shit that you care about to actually change.
And before we move on to the next part of the conversation, I think Marquis' comment was important in terms of the resource investment. So Keith said they just didn't believe the resource investment would move the needle there, and he's 100% correct. Even when you're dealing with black people in the South, we can't hear you. Muted, George.
No, my bad. Yeah, I say yes. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely what happened.
Yeah, and so even with black people in the South, you know, you got to talk to them a particular way because it's certain things that they're attached to in terms of what politics should look like. The racial portion is only half of it. When you start talking about economics, when you start talking about, especially far left progressive ideals, any research will show you that black people don't even really, for the most part, identify as liberal. Excuse me. They don't like to identify as liberal. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on.
Yeah, man. So I think that most black people do. I feel like most black people don't really identify as liberal. Just recognize that the liberals speak to particular issues that really connect with the black community. You know what I'm saying, or really impact the black community in Washington.
Or they don't forefront those issues, right?
I mean, also, I didn't learn language about, Republican and Democrat versus conservatism and liberalism. I didn't learn a lot about that shit until I got to college. That's not language that was common in my household or my neighborhood. Being a liberal and that's just not the level of depth or analysis we have in terms of what's playing out in political landscapes and how that shapes orientations of democracy. Being a Democrat or being a
I feel like that doesn't, I feel like, codify our civic engagement. They don't really get into our civic engagement in terms of Republican, Democrat. If anything in the hood, we'll talk shit about Republicans, but I don't think there's never endorsements for like democratic, liberal ideology, ideas, you feel me? Just that, you know what I mean? We know that we feel like we're better off with them people, you know what I'm saying, sometimes in office, but not necessarily being like pro them.
Factual. One other thing I think will situate this conversation before I throw it back over to Dominique to kind of push the conversation forward is that Jada said something important. Voting is a new process for young people. I was in the 5th grade in 2008, so getting young niggas inspired is hard when they never got that symbolic Obama vote. And I can say that in contrast to my own experience because I graduated from high school in 2007. My first time voting was 2008. So I got the first vote grown up. So I'm grown, right? It's the grown thing to do. It's the first time I'm doing the grown thing to do, and I get to do it for a black person. Like, it was a lot invested in that vote that was symbolically important on a bunch of different levels. When you get to be an adult after seeing how shit has played out, from seeing Obama in 2005 and then seeing that momentum dip, now you like, I waited all this time for this. I'm really not overly inspired to go and do all the gymnastics I got to go through to go vote. Like, I'm good. I'll pass. I'll let y'all niggas handle it. You know what I'm saying? It becomes a whole lot easier to have a bystander effect to it. Just like other people are watching this shit melt down, they'll jump in and say, "But I don't need to do my part."
And so the next part I want to push this to is the way that I'm looking at it, right? I think, like, as Marquis' comment was talking about earlier, there is a aspect of what made Bernie important was the conversation that he pushed. And I'm gonna put y'all on a little bit of political science, right? It's a certain term that's used called the Overton window. The Overton window. Yeah, I'm putting y'all on game. Nah. Yeah. It's the Overton window. And what what the Overton window does is it's pretty much what's in the what it dictates which policy is actually viable in terms of being passed, right? What's considered
being practical? What's seen as being pragmatic?
Right. What type of policy initiatives are considered appropriate, right? And what Bernie Sanders has done is he's made conversations like Medicare for all, conversations like forgiving student loans, that type of shit. He's fit now those conversations within the Overton window, right? If you go from 2016, what Hillary Clinton was running on, to 2020, when you had the 20-man field of Democrats and what they were running on.
It was a 20-person field.
20-person. Because it was about
my
like
apologies.
a couple
My
of
apologies.
Shout out to the women's. You feel me?
Right, a 20-person field. And within that 20-person field, what you got was a lot of more Bernie-esque policies. There wasn't a lot of Hillary Clinton. There wasn't a lot of establishment arguments being made. Even when you listen to Bernie Sanders, or not Bernie Sanders, but Joe Biden, he didn't focus on what the establishment. He focused on what him and Barack Obama was able to do as it pertained to moving the needle. And so, from that perspective, what I would argue is that there was an instance in which when he lost, right, progressives are pissed, but the value of his candidacy is not in him actually being the nominee, I would say. And let me know if y'all disagree. I would say that the value of his candidacy is in how he was able to shift the entire conversation, right? How he was able to move the Overton window and what that meant for liberal progressive politics going forward. So I would actually put forth that the issue that we're upset that Bernie isn't the nominee, even though he's dictated the conversation, has more to do with our celebrity worship of politicians, right? I think there's a personality worship that we get out of Bernie Sanders, even though he's dictating the conversation, right? Because in terms of the presidency, being the president doesn't mean that these things that you talk about will then become policy. That's just what you run on. But the running joke of politics is that what you run on never comes to fruition because you have to capitulate, you have to compromise.
I mean, when you even look down to, kind of the upset feelings that people felt as a lot of their more charismatic leaders were dropping out, it's not what it was about what they were running on, but the biggest part was who's going to give that smoke to Donald Trump, who can really talk that shit to Donald Trump. A huge criticism of Joe Biden is that he can't get up there and have that same celebrity star power when it's time to spar with somebody who's going to have the quips and have a smart ass mouth and not really care on the same level. And so we thought we had something with the New York, you know what I'm saying? Like, got a smart mouth, tough, gritty experience is just, I'm gonna talk to you and give it plain. Like, we really wanted him to come in there and deliver on that level and really show a lot of that umph and that component. And the sassy black woman, and we lost Elizabeth Warren and the tired white woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, we lost a lot of those caricatures of people who we hope can go in there and slay that dragon, and now we got to default to somebody who has a lot of blunders, has a lot of missteps, misspeaks, has a lot of weird stuff in terms of how he interacts and rubs on people and shit like that. And so now we got to deal with this dude to take down the big bad bully, and nobody's captivated by that. Which is
I think that.
You said what?
I think that when it comes to politics now, man, I feel like now I didn't kind of started trying to move it right there and there from morality and ethics when it comes to, what I'm saying, I feel like politics and politicians, because I feel like what it always come down to at the end of it, it seems like we always gonna come up with some unethical, past history of making decisions and acting, in ways that's kind of like, shit, I know a lot of black folks right now that's under the jailhouse for doing that. It seems like we always gonna have those exceptions, and it's like I don't know what to do with that. You feel me?
I mean, it sucks. And I just kind of am afraid to have that attitude toward it, because like I went and had a, worse of two evils conversation with somebody who we used to debate with. I don't think you debated against him. He might be more my generation, right before you started debating. But the boy Carlotti got on and was like, I'm unfriending anybody who's talking about they won't vote for Bernie Sanders won't vote for Joe Biden. And I'm offending everybody. And people was like, how do you take that approach to dealing with people who are still very much dealing with their hopes and aspirations being shat on in the place of somebody like a rapist? And it's crazy because, or a person who commits sexual assault. And for some people, to me, it's too much. right? To just look the other way and say there's always going to be some troubling things in somebody's past. We got to get over and look at what they're talking about. Like, nah, you are the pristine case of how shit gets, you get away with it. You are a great example of the sympathy you'll have for people who commit these other types of crimes. You're a great example of the triggering effect of seeing people with power and how this, yes, I called his name. But yes, you know what I'm saying? In terms of people who are having some issues dealing with this shit. And so those are things we don't think about when we're just like, well, people make bad decisions all the time. Some people, they don't speak or resonate with some folk. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the wave. Dominique, too, you got to answer for yourself with this Krav Maga shirt on. You know what I'm saying? You are here.
Hey, yeah, we'll talk about that. And shout out to Marquise. I just hit him up for a quarantine reading list, and he just got me some heat. So I'm we're gonna get on that.
In the midst of receiving that heat, you decided to put your Crave Maga shirt on.
No, it's just it was the quarantine fit for the day. That's all that was.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, Tony. Would you go?
Well, no, I was just gonna say. I mean, in terms of, because I feel like this is a question you was leaning toward, and I don't want to jump the gun on it. But what we gonna do in the face of this new reality? Whereas we've been forced into a lesser of two evil situation.
Right.
I don't how to respond, how to move forward, what to think about when November comes.
I mean, but this is the thing. We have the policy conversation that we wanted, right? Like, I think a part of when it comes to, how we hold these people accountable, a large portion of it is, all right, yo, this is what we want, bro. Like, yeah, you the nominee, but this is what's being dictated. You feel me? And it ain't even just about Joe Biden, right? It's also about everybody else, because we not just voting for a president. We voting for, we voting for our senators. We voting for our representatives, right? It's all of their asses is on the line. And Joe Biden is the figurehead. Who's going to make sure that these policies in terms of dictating how Medicare for work, if it'll be more open, if it'll be more available, is Congress. You feel me? And with Bernie Sanders shifting that conversation, the burden just isn't on Joe Biden. The burden is also on Congress to create an environment that opens up the possibility for turning Obamacare, which was a good foundation to start, into something that is more like Medicare and Medicaid for all. You feel me? Like, and to me, I'm not going to say like you should go to hell if you don't vote for Joe Biden. But what I'm saying is that Bernie Sanders lost. To rip Joe Biden because Bernie Sanders lost, even with all of it, like, we know what Joe Biden's issue is, but to rip him with knowing what we know, you know what I'm saying, about Donald Trump now, you feel me? To focus on, well, since Bernie lost, I deal with Donald Trump. That's celebrity worship. To say that, okay, our personality.
Because it's not just we didn't like this guy or we don't like his attitude or he has dementia or whatever, all that ableist shit. It'll be different if those are just the issues. But for some people, a very hard pill to swallow is the Tara Reade story, is the videos where you see clip after clip of him rubbing on young girls in the White House as visiting when he was vice president.
Hey, what's the Tara Reade story? Hold on, what's the Tara Reade story?
I don't know a lot of the intimate details of that, but that is the woman who has come out with the most recent accusation of sexual assault against him. Right. And so that, in combination to Anita Hill, a Black woman who was silenced and rejected when she tried to talk out and speak out against Clarence Thomas. Right. That shit, relationships to that. Like, you got to be mindful that that's not a small thing that people can just push to the side and say, well, to look at Joe Biden and say that for some people, that's no deal. You know what I'm saying? For some people, that's a deal breaker. It's like, I can date somebody who's been to jail, but I also need to know what you went to jail for. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest about the situation. When I'm talking to you, I do want to know, what was the crime, boss? You know what I'm saying? Niggas steal shit for a bunch of weird reasons that maybe I can't explain away, but you assaulting people? You know what I'm saying? Like, I do have the right to determine, even if I'm okay with a degree of misdoing, how that shit kind of played out. And I think that's something that a lot of men have the privilege of not having to be conscious of and think about. I think a lot of people who have not been victims, not just men, but people who have not been victims of sexual assault have the ability to very gracefully not think about, and it becomes just this thing that we have a problem with that we should be able to oversee because Donald Trump is so bad. And for some people, it's no deal. And that lesser of two evils binary becomes even more violent. It becomes even more problematic for a lot of people. And I completely get that shit. It's like, where can I draw my line before I say enough is a damn enough?
Yeah, I mean, non-participation is always an option. At the end of the day, like non-participation is always an option. But I mean, it's just like with every decision, there's consequences that come with it. And in a scenario where non-participation is like, we literally sitting here dealing with two candidates that have to deal with sexual assault allegations, sexual and inappropriate allegations that hang above them, and one of them are going to be president. And that's not to trivialize, but hold on. But that's what I'm saying though. It's every decision has this justification, and I mean, like I said, I'm not the person that's like, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you a piece of shit. I'm not that person. I mean, because I understand, right? But again, we have to every decision comes with consequences, and we have our own personal decisions. You know what I'm saying? And what feels right to us. You feel me? And it's just a matter of which one is more important. You feel me? Because because I want to say this, because I don't want it to be I don't want it to come off like I'm saying, well, if you got to choose yourself over all of the other shit. I'm saying for some people it does make sense to focus on self. You feel me? For some people it's more important mentally that they don't feed into that. That's survival, and that's key, and that's important. That shouldn't be trivialized. You feel me? But for some people, it's also more important that they go with getting this nigga out of office. And those, yeah, go ahead.
For me, I think there are decisions that have to be made for some of those people because it's still time to work through kind of some of their positionalities and orientations for things. And I mean, I'm hopeful, not that people necessarily go and vote who don't have an inclination to do so, because everybody has their reasons and we got to respect it. That's all kind of democracy. But for people who are like me, who are unsure, even in the face of that, like these issues of sexual assault, show me something in terms of your vice presidential candidate. Show me something in terms of what you coming with, because that's what I'm really, really curious about. Who's going to be your running mate?
Right. I mean, and he looking at Stacey Abrams as his running mate.
Don't look, pick, choose.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even.
You think he'll benefit if he picks early, or if he do you feel like he benefits if he got on to pick one right now, or if he waits?
Yes. You need to be earning back trust, and you need somebody talking for you because you're not doing it, boss. But the same thing. Here's what's messed up though. I say Stacey Abrams, and then guess who's about to have to take and shoulder re-narrating this sexual assault shit to make it
a black woman.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's where
it's
up all over again, because now she has to burden the brunt of mediating for black people and black victims of sexual assault and sexual assault in general. She has to go and be the nice black lady that softens the blow of another white man who's done it again. And so, or another man or another person who has done it again. And so that is so messed up that she didn't do that. And that's a heavy burden that she got to bear. Kamala Harris too. Mark Houston seems to believe he's gonna pick Kamala. I don't wish that burden on her either. I think it's very fucked up that he's gonna get the benefit of choosing a woman, but that woman is gonna have to carry the brunt. Let's go ahead and pick a white woman. I'll talk about women in general. Pick a woman.
Yeah, just in general.
Navigate and speak through the bullshit that he's done to other women, and that is so fucked up to have to do. It's terrible. It's trash.
Yeah, man. I mean, just the reality of it, and this is where we all start to like. This is the importance of Afro-pessimism. And this is where when we talk about finding social life and social depth, I mean for my for my anti-blackness heads out there, and it's that we know, like, that's what we know we got to work through, and that's the fucked up thing about it, because yes, even though we know that a black or that a woman, and probably a black woman, is gonna have to be the one to re-narrate, right? To repackage this shit. The significance of a black woman holding that position, you feel me, is extremely, extremely important in general. You know what I'm saying? For black girls, and you know what I'm saying, period. To break that barrier, because it's a certain thing about seeing. It's about seeing somebody that look like you in that position. That's what made Obama impactful. You see somebody that you never seen nobody that looked like you in that position, and now we get to see it.
You know, growing up, especially if you do debate or whatever, everybody try to put that. I know y'all have experienced. You're gonna be a politician. You need to be a mayor. You need to be a senator. And this is why I was like, I can't do it, because I can't do the sticky shit, the gray shit, the weird shit that you have to do in order to be a legitimate candidate. You know what I'm saying? You have to justify terrible shit like this. You have to be a sounding board or an ally or be the voice for people who do terrible things. And it's like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not standing alongside you, and I don't want nobody bringing up. It's, you know, I think about, you know who I think about in this same instance? What's not K Michelle, Chrisette Michelle, and how she sung at Trump's inauguration, and niggas have not supported a thing she did ever since. Right? She became radioactive, nigga. She got into the proximity of that nigga, and people was like, you thought.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that same radioactivity happens for other black women who end up having to get up there and cap. It's like the trust is gonna be gone. Because you sided with the enemy. And that's why I feel about a lot of these. Like I feel about a lot of these decisions. And why it could never be me is because I feel like actually a lot of it works, and you chose. You chose. Wow. Now you got to defend. Now it makes you skeptical in my eyes, and that sucks.
Now, look, as somebody who, you know, who wants a future in politics, what's that, Zane? That boy Zane? Yo, shout out to the youngin'. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that you have to. It's certain things that you got to accept as a part of. All right, this is what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of what it's what you're willing to do, because it's certain people that's willing to put themselves. And again, this doesn't separate anybody. It just shows the different roles that we got to play, right? Like people need to play their role. If dealing with that type of shit ain't your role, we got to put you where you useful. You feel me? Me, I'm willing to deal with it, right? I'm willing to take the scrutiny, not just from white people, but from black people who have a certain perception of black politicians, right? I'm saying like it got to be something like I'm willing to go into politics, knowing that my niggas is talking shit about me on the streets because I'm in politics, but that's what they supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, and all of that too, but just the symbolic nature of black women coming in and cleaning up really fucked up shit is just something that I think.
But cleaning up, well, in terms of, I mean, I get it, right? Like in terms of dealing with that, but that's kind. I mean, it's the when we talk about the world being anti-black.
Yes, but Dominique, I'm literally, but I want you to zoom in, right? You're zoomed out. I want you to zoom into the moment during the vice presidential debates when your favorite CNN correspondent, not your literal favorite, but you pick up.
I don't watch CNN, brother.
Okay, so Kamala, so Senator Harris, you as a candidate have been tough on crime. You like to hold people accountable. Those have been your politics the entire time. How do you, as a candidate, deal with supporting or being the running mate to a person who has done X, Y, and Z, sexual assault, whatever? Like she's gonna like that moment where I'm gonna have to sit there and be like, that's fucked up. Like that is the moment that I'm thinking about. That's terrible and trash. I feel like black women and women in general should not have to lie down. Like that is where I'm just like, there has to be a threshold. And I don't think you do. You see the threshold and you're a part.
Hey, I think.
Hold on, George. Hold on, George. Go ahead, finish that to you.
I don't think you see the threshold till you're a part of the representative group that's being pushed over it. Was what I was saying.
And I think that's gonna really. I think what Toya's saying is really gonna be nullified because there won't be any equivalent for. I can't even think of the vice president Donald Trump right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's like he won't like
Mike Pence.
Mike Pence. There'll be no way to even frame or characterize a question to ask him anything where he has to have a kind of conscious, moral onus to being like, oh, how do you deal with this? Because like Mike Pence, how do you deal with being the vice president of Donald Trump, a man that's been accused of 25 women? He's like, who cares? I got 5 that accuse me.
I mean, and I understand that, but it's also it's literally the same. It's the reconciliation that you make voting for like being black and I mean, and I want to stay zoomed in, right? I definitely want to stay zoomed in. I don't want to get out of that. And so staying zoomed in, right? Like there is a reality that you have to deal with in terms of going into politics. That's and in the era of the Me Too movement, women who are choosing to go into this arena to support certain people, to get behind particular politicians, know that that's literally what they're gonna have to deal with. And if you don't have that threshold, that's completely understandable. But the people who are, it's just like war, right?
I think it's so much easier to stomach that on the Republican side of it than it is the Democrat side of it. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%, 100%. Because it's just like voting for Hillary Clinton. Like having to still support Hillary Clinton after the super predator comments, after the crime bill comments, after everything that go after the you know what I'm saying, the hot sauce. It's not the same. It's not mentally, it's not the same. But there's a parallel, right? There's a parallel, and that's why you get to a point where you're like,
I just want to see intersectionality on camera. This is how I feel.
No. It's and it's dope, and this is why like you speaking on this shit is important.
Say that is a false analogy and cannot. At the same time, just like there are distinctions, there are differences, but are they important enough to overwhelm the connections? So it's just like I get it.
Like there's a parallel, not even equating equivalency, but there's a parallel, right? Like having to justify me being like, nigga, I'm voting for Hillary Clinton, or even just being a progressive and saying I'm willing to vote for Joe Biden, right? It's we're all gonna have to like anybody, because I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden. Anybody that got to vote, and I'm gonna finish this, and we can, you know what I'm saying, we can go ahead and get into the second chop, because we really spent like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of time on this one, because it's a lot, but the reality, there is a sad reality that people who engage in politics know they got to deal with. You feel me? There's a sad justification that is just like, damn, I gotta eat that. You feel me? Because that's just the reality of who the fuck we dealing with, the options that we have as Black people.
I think of, from the perspective of like communication, scholarship, and like how you prepare people to participate in those type of moments. There, you gotta like I can imagine coaching somebody before, and it's like there's no good answer to that cross-ex question. You just gotta kind of take that hit and make sure you don't completely fuck up. Like that's what a lot of these frameworks keep being told. Like we don't have a good answer for that shit. You just gotta make sure
they don't lose the debate at that question. Figure out a way to
make it out alive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean,
be more realistic than from my perspective than I'm willing to give it credit for.
And this is where we give our Black women credit, because if anybody was gonna finesse that shit, it's a Black woman.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's a Black woman who gonna finesse that shit because she got a job, she got a purpose, she got a role. You know what I mean? And that's why, especially when it comes to Black women, they deserve more credit politically. You feel me? Because of their engagement, right? How like their numbers in terms of, you know what I mean, how like what they push out, who's taking extreme leadership, like the fact that you have the Cory Bookers and the Hakeem Jeffries. Shout out to the homie Hakeem. Shout out to the homie. Hakeem Jeffries. You got them guys, but you got the Stacey Abrams, you got the Kamala Harris's that's just right there. And I mean, to be for real, they deserve those platforms. It's fucked up that they gotta attach themselves to white men. You feel me? But they deserve the opportunity to be on those platforms above anything else. You feel me? And outside of the symbolism,
what?
It had like, listen, it ain't no such thing, because countries rise and fall off symbolism. Empires are dictated and destroyed off of the symbols that they represent. You feel me? So symbols serve a purpose. They'll always, like, we have our flag, or not our flag, but the United States flag has stayed the same for a reason. You feel me?
I think that that's a real weak link, but we can go with that one.
No, I mean, we gotta get to this one last comment though. Jada said finessing sexual assault allegations is wild phrasing. I wasn't saying, now I want to be specific. I wasn't saying finessing the allegations. I was saying finessing circumstances of having to, work with these type of individuals. You know what I'm saying? To have to put yourself in those circles in order to be the change that you want to see. You feel me? That's what they're gonna finesse. It ain't. There's no such thing as finessing sexual assault allegations. It's finessing relationships with these individuals. Exactly. We gotta finesse those.
Terrell said the best. He gave a strategy for dealing with this moment. Take a swig and ask them to repeat the question. and hope the timer runs out.
Right. Like, what'd you say?
Everybody's seen some of those cross-exes where you keep talking after the timer. No, when that timer go off, you're gonna be like, no problem. Send it to somebody else.
It's his turn.
No problem.
Oh yeah, but now we one of them cross-exes. So it's talking about the timer off. You want to take prep time?
Look, Now that y'all tuned in and clocked in, thank y'all so much. We got 10 people with eyes on us. If you are participating, go ahead and like or love the show real quick. Laugh with us, vibe with us. We about to transition real quick out of the political chop and into the entertainment chop. And today, it's all about celebrity culture, right? In looking at how this quarantine time is played out and what we're dealing with and how everybody's spending more time at home. These people literally ain't got no parties to go to, no shows to go to, no videos to shoot, no venues to be at, no nothing. They can't even go chill with their crews like they want to. We have seen celebrities both shine and unravel and exist in ways we never thought possible. We've seen Instagram take off in terms of a live feature and watching everything from Club Quarantine with DJ Nice to whatever the hell Tory Lanez be doing to whatever the hell Boosie was doing times 10 because he was already on some crazy stuff before we went into quarantine. So we just see
so live. Give you $100,000.
I'll give you $1,000.
Put something on the camera. I give you $1,000. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I mean, to me too. Aspiring celebrities, people who are finally like, y'all got a captive audience. I got people at home. Let me see how many people I can get. Have been trying to pull up on celebrity and use this time to get in the game as well. So I got a series of questions because I feel like we've seen a series of responses from celebrities to this shit. But my very first question to y'all is, who have you enjoyed keeping up with or watching the most during this quarantine time? Have you been tapped into any particular person, any particular thing? What has kept you, in terms of celebrities, kind of pushing through this quarantine?
I don't fuck with celebrities like that, to be for real.
I feel
like you have a conditional relationship. Can I just say this real quick? Because Dominique, last time we talked about these celebrity battles, was completely off of it. Was like, I don't care, And this time, you know, with this battle, you was all in, had all the tips, had all the info. So I think you're real conditional with how you care, and I love it. I'm here for it. But you need to quit being so hard line with, I don't care about these niggas and what they do, because you kind of do a little bit. Okay?
I mean, well, in terms of like they lives, bro, like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't care what you doing at home. Like that's just how I feel. Like which like, you know what I'm saying, on you know, Good Morning America, they be sitting there talking about, well, you know, we're here, we're doing. I really don't care, bro. Like if you got an app, I mean,
go as far as saying lives, but I have been into, I know talk some shit when I say this. But the person I've been liking, following through this quarantine in terms of the content they've been producing is that boy Rizza Islam. I've been liking the content.
Bro.
You know,
your version of a celebrity. Love it. I think one of my favorite things has been, it's been a couple things. First of all, I already talked about DJ Nice and how lit he's been, just kind of getting us grooving through. And it's just so crazy too to look on his lives and it'd be like 1:00 in the morning and it'd be 70,000 people in there. Like, you have a gravitational pull, my dude, to have this many people up vibing with you in the middle of the night. Have y'all seen the white man Leslie? I forget what show he's from. Was it Love, Will and Grace, or one of those older shows? But it's this white country man named Leslie. That he get on, he be like, "Hey y'all, how y'all doing?" And he get on there and just say,
"Oh no, he talking about the gay dude. He gay."
Yes, the old white gay man.
Talking about the Tiger King shit had me dying. Like,
yes. But just, I think that catapulted him into us watching him every single day. And I guess he was like, my mom was yelling at me from downstairs, asking me what I'm doing. I'm on Instagram with my friends, mama. Or I'm whatever. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Has continued to bless my soul. And so, I mean, and just the random, you know, dance. I call me ridiculous, and Dominique can be like, this is what I'm talking about. I don't pay attention to that part. But like the little dance challenges, and then you get a celebrity family to do it, and you get somebody
has been enjoying too, man. This little quarantine, you feel me? For y'all that follow the TikTok, follow Instagram, follow the Chop Up for the last few months. You know, I'll be talking about TikTok a lot. That's something I've also enjoyed during this quarantine, is that even though all the people that talk shit about TikTok, I see TikTok videos on every single social media platform now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's popping. It's popping.
Now they gained about 25,000 followers. You know what I'm saying? 30,000 followers. You know what I mean? In the past 2 weeks. That's pretty dope.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the content creators. You feel me? That's, you know what I mean, that struggle to get their views and put in a lot of motherfucking work. You feel me? The content, especially the black content creators who got to struggle through racist ass terms of conditions. You feel me? Racist ass people supporting that shit.
Easily, man. Real talk,
you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, so it's like, you know, in terms of the social media shit, you feel me? Shout out to the niggas that's struggling to give views and putting in that work. While these celebrities could just pop up.
Like, we just talking about celebrities.
No, yeah, I know. I just had to put that out there.
But in that same vein, you just want to be so anti. You want to be so antagonist that I have to stop you sometimes and bring you back to the theme.
I got you.
Marquis started out the podcast, All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and stuff.
That motherfucker is All the Smoke podcast, bro, is like, yo, it gives niggas the opportunity. It gives NBA players, NFL, like, it gives them the opportunity to be niggas with niggas that they trust. You feel me?
Yeah.
Matt Barnes, if it was two niggas in the NBA that represent niggadom.
Yeah, it's Matt
Barnes. You know what
I'm
saying? It's Matt Barnes. It was fucking Stack 5.
Yeah.
Steven Jackson. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Shout out to that podcast. Yo. And then we got Jada talking about the Tory Lanez quarantine radio?
Quarantine radio.
Hey man, he said, I'm talking about RZA was on, or not RZA, Rizzo. Fuck RZA. Rizzo was on there, you know what I'm saying, doing her thing. Like, hey, they just be, they be, what I say, Rizzo?
You be saying stuff crazy and don't believe me. I hope you went back and watched that video from when we was going back and forth and you kept saying independent and I kept saying dependent. I just let them
Hey, I put that on TikTok and Instagram. People would love the comments like, I love how she just corrected him. Like,
I'm not even trying to wear you out of nothing. I just want to let you know
you are independent. Yeah. You like Damo is dependent. Yeah, independent. That's what I said. Right? Independent. I was like, what? Okay, you have the George moment. You feel me? Oh, he dipped out real fast. You know, we still live though. You feel me?
Well, wait, what just happened?
You left but came back.
That's weird. Yeah, it flipped.
After Diddy had his little, awareness COVID-19 celebration, whatever. Had a whole bunch of different people fall through while him and his sons did their thing on live. Lizzo went to dance to go do her thing and twerk like a whole Drea and a whole bunch of other people did. She got shut down. She got cut off. So Tory Lanez was like, no problem. Come on, quarantine radio.
Hey, Diddy was a hoe for that, by the way. Absolutely. Diddy was a hoe for that. That was like straight hoe shit.
He was like, she played profanity in her music, which is why I had to. Of course, there was an explanation for it. His explanation for it, why he told her to stop, was not that she started twerking, but that she had music that talked about sucking dick. And, Lizzo talk about what she talked about. So he was like, so we just, we was trying to keep it, classy since it was an all ages friendly type situation. And I still think that was just a terrible ass excuse. These kids be cussing, they know all the language. I don't know why you went in with that approach anyway. And I'm certain you played.
For the camera.
You said what?
And he left Drill busted up before the camera. And
some other person who's a little bit lesser known. So what move by that? But shout out to Tory Lanez for having the women's, according to Jada, twerking with milk. She feels dirty that she's so entertained. But
the sister that was just pouring the milk on it. Yeah, that was comedy. That was comedy. And shout out to Mellow Mondays. That shit.
What is Carmelo?
Yeah, man. He be sipping wine with with other athletes and other niggas talking about wine. Like they on they classy shit. You feel me? Like breaking stereotypes, counter hegemonic and all that shit. So I say that. I mean, that's
niggas doing bougie shit.
That's real.
Hey, it's a whole documentary or it's a whole TV show on Netflix about a nigga who wants to be a sommelier. I think that's the word for somebody who's an expert in wine, but he's from the ghetto. So that's an expensive taste to have. You feel me? So for you, but it's interesting that George call it bougie nigga shit. You feel me? When we see, in our culture starting to show art where niggas is into everything, bro. We multifaceted, bro. We multifaceted. You feel
Apparently, me? Lala and Kelly got some interviews popping. We got LeBron with the TikTok game going crazy. George Lee got a shout out for being a TikTok guard. ESPN has apparently not been thriving. I don't pay for cable, so I've not even had to sift through any video game tournaments or spelling bee tournaments from 25 years ago.
Yeah, these niggas is playing 2K and horse and
I've never understood, and I will say this: back in the day, I used to chill with me and men hanging out. Fun time. I just do with bros. Don't know how to describe it, but it's a comfortable place for me. That being said, I used to hang out with a lot of dudes that would play the game. And I did get into watching people play like Madden or playing 2K and be like, okay, they clearly will never turn the game off. I'm gonna have to pretend I'm watching a real game and just get excited with them. Definitely made that decision early. But once I stopped living that life, I refuse to sit there and watch somebody play a video game. So that just completely, it throws me off to know that people sit on YouTube, the youths they get, and they just watch people play video games all day. And they get on.
My nephews and them do it. I'm thinking like, man,
I do that shit sometimes.
I
mean, games that I'm not good at.
Y'all just watch somebody play 2K and they got millions of views.
Yeah,
I
mean, yeah, I dibble and dabble into the 2K. It's called the 2K community. You feel me? I dibble and dabble. I mean, because you got different shit. I mean, just not to get too far off topic, but you got the fighting game community where you watch niggas play fighting games. You got the 2K community, the Madden community, the Call of Duty community. You feel me? It's like niggas. It's like you got they just stream themselves playing this shit. You feel me? And while all these other markets are struggling, striving. They are thriving. I mean, I'm fucking out of it.
Because they doing the same shit they've been doing. Nothing watching other people play the game.
I want to shout out, speaking of us watching celebrities do shit, Jada has a problem with Warzone. Apparently it's a whole ass game, so we don't like it. Boo. But while we're talking about celebrities doing shit, gotta shout out the white boy who represented NASCAR, was like a rookie NASCAR driver. Playing or something, was just trying to his audio. Nigga, first thing he tried to do to get his audio to start working in the chat or whatever is to be like niggers. Like that was just the first thing he said, and people are like,
he was like, "Can you niggas hear me?" or some shit like that. Or
he just said niggers.
He said niggers.
He just said it. It was like, "Hello,
oh, wow.
niggers," and people were like, "Bro, we can hear you," or everybody can hear you. The end of his.
Yeah, every motherfucker was like, "No, bro, no." Yeah, he was fired immediately,
expeditiously.
Yeah,
and got slid right on out. So that shit is crazy. But we know how people have been or not been paying attention to. We know Dominique is impervious to any celebrities. He's only watching the people growing shit from the grassroots. We understand that. But everybody else,
creative, stand up.
Everybody else is just trying to make it through quarantine, has been paying attention to these celebs. And paying attention to celebs, one thing we've been noticing is their specific response to COVID-19. We got some celebs recording themselves, standing out on balconies and shit, clapping for healthcare workers by themselves, and talking about and sending prayers and well wishes. And a lot of comment, I sit on Twitter, has been like, where is the money? Nigga, where is the resources? Where is the support? We also have people who have risen to the occasion. Countless celebrities have donated stuff. Shout out to the girl Rihanna, your boy Jay-Z, and Jack Dorsey, who is one of the owners of Twitter. They have collected like $7 million for domestic violence, for example, right? So a lot of people doing stuff. We talked about the Patriots sending a flight out to go get PPE and doing all types of stuff. But like seeing what people are doing and not doing, I think has created a lot of conversation and buzz around what the standard is for celebrities, what we're entertained by, what we're satisfied by. So do y'all feel like the standard for celebrities has changed? Like, do you feel like that's a good thing? Do you think like we should want more out of our celebrities and shit like this is proof of that? Or are they not obligated to give their money to show up and respond? I feel like we've had a similar conversation before, but what do y'all think about this? Like, are celebrities responsible for jumping into action?
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. That's just the reality of the situation. I mean,
feedback in the comments too. Are celebrities responsible in times of crisis like this to jump into action, or can they just go be regular people like us and just be at home scared and kind of doing their own thing and kind of just waiting this out?
I mean, but they wait till shit blow over.
But they not doing that though.
It depends on your celebrityhood. I think it depends on how do you make your money in terms of how do you represent yourself. I feel like if you claim to be a philanthropist or you act like you do a whole bunch of things, I think right now is the time to come through. You know what I'm saying? I think if you don't talk about that thing or whatever, then whatever. You feel me? People still support you and you selfish and you only care about your own fortune and you still got your money, whatever. But I think if you really talk about being a philanthropist and really being in the community and really helping people in need, it's never been a time.
I think in that regard is gonna build a cool little legacy behind his shit when it's all said and done, or it's starting to. Your boy Meek sold his first what's that thing called? Rolls Royce, black on black.
Phantom.
Yeah, sold the Phantom first.
Yeah,
crazy big luxury car like that. You said what?
Yeah, Rolls Royce Phantom. I think the same thing.
Yeah. Thank you, because I was trying to sound like I knew what I was talking about. I know.
One of them rich people cars, goddamn.
But I heard that, he went ahead and gave that up to move some stuff around. So I really think, when people get a chance to show how rubber's meeting the road, it doesn't have to be anything prolific, but $50,000. I mean, yeah, $50,000 somewhere, $20,000 somewhere. I mean, why not? Like, that probably goes a very long way in terms of feeding neighborhoods or feeding kids in school programs who don't get lunches anymore. Like, that type of stuff is what really starts to matter. But we also suffer from, we criticize celebrities for doing shit and publicizing it. Still ain't no telling what people been up to. You know what I mean? That's the other side of it as well.
I think the problem for me is that it's the reactionary nature of it, right? Like I think what it's exposing is what they have the capacity to do and how soon they could do it, right? And it begs the question of what they're willing to do, right? Because we have it's shit that we deal with on a regular basis that's actually considered pandemics, like, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to flu shit, you feel me, or when it comes to feeding people and all these other things.
Deserts, I think, on TikTok and Instagram today, and that's
you know what I'm saying. And these are things that's besides the large pandemic shit, this is shit that's killing people daily. You feel me? Like, niggas is dying from this shit, on a daily basis. And so, I mean, I think it's reactionary, and I don't think it creates a new standard, because it really, we because of our relationship to celebrities, we accept what they give us, right? What they're willing to do, we'll take that and be like, look, at least they did this, right? And so, because they'll always get that, at least they did this, the bare minimum will always be enough. So even if they go above the bare minimum, we give them that much credit by going above the bare minimum. But even if they just don't do shit, it's just like, did they need to? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a win-win situation. They're going to have people defend them if they don't do shit. They're going to have people defend them if they do the bare minimum. And if they do more than that, we damn near put them on the Mount Rushmore of black people. You feel me?
Marquis seemed to sum up the whole purpose and, kind of attempt or initiative behind it all, the incentive behind it all. He says they're all trying to capitalize on this to ensure their pockets and brand. Anything they do is a drop in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? And that's I mean, I think 1000% sure. In a lot of ways, businesses, brands, corporations, individuals will be judged by what they did during COVID-19. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of different ways. I think people were saying, of course, on my favorite website, Twitter, that one big important question that you should be asking people who you go in for an interview from now on is, how did you support your staff and employees during COVID-19, right? Those are realistic and reasonable questions that people should be able to ask to question your ethics and to question where your values are and what you care about. And I think celebrities will kind of probably be held to that same standard in terms of some of what their legacy looks like. Last thing that I want to talk about, I don't want to even stretch out this conversation too long, because celebrities got the goods. If you really care about celebrities and what they're doing, just follow them on Instagram. But what this leads me to think about, and why I thought this was an interesting topic to deal with, is how we will deal with celebrities and giving them the attention and giving them the fanfare that they're used to beyond this. Because there ain't no festivals, ain't no concerts, ain't no parties, a lot of that stuff is gonna be banned. You know what I'm saying? Or people will look at them as though they don't care, they're careless, and don't care about public health, that they decide to do a lot of this stuff, even when things open back up. So have y'all thought about it all, how we're gonna deal with fan culture and popular culture in a world we might not even be able to go to the movie theater for a long time? Like, how will we respond? What do y'all think?
Go ahead, George.
Man, I just think that every day they go by, shout out to our people that's seen the little Black Mirror series on Netflix. I think we just pretty much just kind of getting into the more virtual, neoliberal, sell feelings, emotions, moods, and vibes. You know what I'm saying? Through the internet is really what I think is pretty much all that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Internet sales is going up. Different celebrities are figuring out ways to keep their music buzzing, or to keep their music streams up, or to, you know what I'm saying, stay in Hot Topic, and other celebrities just falling back and you know what I'm saying, they got a personality and they got talent. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's just I think that it's showing a lot of different people, you know what I'm saying, showcasing a lot of the people that ain't been showcasing in a while, especially somebody from Texas, you know what I'm saying. Shout out to everybody that's been keeping up with this Freestyle King challenge that got going on in Texas. Lil Flip, ESG, Lil Kiki, You know what
Oh,
I'm
that's
saying?
dope. That's
Like,
dope.
you know
And
what I
I'm
mean?
about
I
to
feel
tune into
like,
that
like
one.
the quarantine doing things like that. You feel me? Like I didn't even follow them on Instagram up until the quarantine. But since they've been talking about that, I now follow Kiki, ESG, Lil Flip on Instagram. I didn't do that, and I grew up on it. You know what I'm saying? So things like that, I feel like
Danny Fresh, C-Pain, couple people that got followed for me that I didn't care about before, and I'm like, oh, let me see what you're doing. Real stuff in between what we care about. They like, let me slide this in there to make sure they know this album coming out or that I produced this.
All right, let me slide.
Oh,
Let me throw a wrench into this.
Oh gosh.
This I don't know, this pop culture menagerie.
Hold on, Uncle Damo.
But yo, I think it's a what it does is it really it makes it too intimate. You know what I'm saying? Like we get this false sense of, oh, they're people. Like no. You feel me? Like the only reason that they social media shit matter is because of who they are outside of social media. So when they give you their social media self, that's still them. We still look at like these celebrities, performers. With the one thing that they understand is that this shit, that all publicity is good publicity. You get on TikTok looking stupid. Like the worst thing we could do is like let them get on TikTok acting up. Look at me. I'm doing the same thing normal people doing. The nigga that or the sister that comes up with the dance and get no love. You know what I'm saying? She probably maybe got what 10,000 views. Celebrity pick it up. They do that same dance. They now have over 1 million, 100 million views with no credit given.
The name of the game, though.
I mean, that's whack though. That's what I'm saying. Like that's
I think it's whack, but I think the game just whack. You feel me? I feel like damn near everybody on social media is trying to be a content curator one way or another. So 80% of folks, you know what I'm saying, is trying to get attention, trying to get some clout, trying to get some shit. You feel me?
But
like,
out of that percentage, bro, the amount of people coming up with original content, that's the difference. It's like, yeah,
I agree with that. And that's the steal content all the time. I just think that when it comes down to people taking ideas from other people, I just think that's literally just the name of the game.
But what TikTok has done has made stealing content the norm. Just do what somebody. I'm gonna do what they did.
My understanding been on TikTok my little 9 months. It sounds like the thing that's going on TikTok is the same thing that was going on the Little Brother app Vine. It seemed like a lot of the bigger creators were stealing a lot of the smaller creators' things, redoing them, and they blowing up and getting bigger because they got bigger crowds. It seemed like
introduce.
We have artists that sue other artists and say, "Hey, you stole my beat, you stole my hook, you stole this."
But you ain't stealing. But you ain't suing. You ain't suing for no video. I mean, shit. If y'all just seen, because to speak, it's YouTube too, though, right? Because if anybody's seen that Emmanuel Hudson versus Spoken Reasons on Wild 'N Out, like Emmanuel Hudson went off on Spoken Reasons over some old beef that they had because Spoken Reasons, you know what I'm saying, fucked up some of his content or stole some of his content, whatever. Matter of fact, like so. I mean, I ain't even really need to get into it. But the idea is that still, that's the struggle that regular content creators got to deal with. Now you have mainstream celebrities proliferating your market, taking away even more of a share of the attention, more of the share of the views, more of the share of the appreciation. You feel me? So
the infiltration of celebrities on TikTok has been kind of whack, but at the same time, it's like shit. It is what it is. Cause shit,
nigga, we don't. But see that everything is what it is until we say nah.
Everybody trying to be TikTok famous, so of course the famous people gonna hop on there trying to do the same thing. Like literally, that's like the age we live in. People, you know what I'm saying? What you think, Toya?
I think that in the ways that I keep trying to fall in love with TikTok, but I keep being like, let the kids have that. Is the same way that I keep trying to follow, and this is no shade to anybody thriving on TikTok. It's just like
it's for kids, though.
Like people have something, you know what I'm saying? It's like let me have nigga. Y'all get every other word in this, and let me have nigga. It's like we get y'all get everything else. Let have content creators have TikTok, because what's really unfortunate is you'll have videos, and I mean I think we have just 1,000 stories of times where. Like I be on Twitter and people will be like, "Hey, y'all's favorite video that y'all falling in love with in this new trend, that's my voice, right? Not even that's my idea and you took it and did something cool, but y'all reenacted shit that was like my voice, or the video that's going crazy. That's me and my mama having a conversation about, you know what I'm saying? And so that
somebody ripped it and then turn it into a TikTok video.
And they blew it up and did something.
TikTok like that. We take the audio, people stuff all the time and redo it and making it something. That's literally a trending TikTok. Where
and so I think I can respect that the nature of TikTok. I think that I'm making an argument here that I feel like there's some nuance in. You know, our favorite word is nuance around here in these debate world. Is that I think I can agree that that's the nature of that platform for people to take stuff and do stuff and spruce it and remix it and not compound that with celebrities doing that and having the ability to monetize and take advantage of shit and take it all to the next level and not give credit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because Tyga and Jason Derulo then took over TikTok,
and it's like they wake up to live and do it. And so to me, that's just already so whack when you can just go back to your platform that's already been curated and designed for people like you to thrive and then go do that thing, or just give credit. Like, why not be the OG? Like, you don't have to sign these people to contracts. You don't have to, give them
whores.
Your endorsement, your rubber stamp on some cool shit somebody did could be all they need to attract somebody.
Thank you.
5 or 10. So that small step, it's like, and this is what
because I know y'all
people will have a lawsuit in a second if you have a remnant of a beat or a remnant of a song and you feel like you have a piece of that shit, then they ready to get their piece of the pie. So why is that politic and logic not the same for small people who already ain't got shit, who can't sue you, who can't take you to court for taking their intellectual property, who would never think of doing that because they don't have the lawyer fees?
And that's the reality.
Put them on.
And that's the reality of it. Like, the benefit of if them niggas came on TikTok and was seeing, oh, this person did this challenge, tagging them in it, duetting they shit. You feel me? Because the difference of like TikTok is for content creators. Instagram is for the casual. You feel me? Facebook is for the casual. You can comment, you can just put words. It's very casual. TikTok is for the creative. So if you're gonna be on it, if you got celebrities that are just on there, just standing there looking stupid, it's just like the criticism of, like, a white girl in some small shorts just standing there and smiling and get 10,000 views. You feel me? While this intricate ass dash, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's bullshit, right? But now to take it to another level, you got these people who already have a following based on whatever it is that they do, right? They already got 1 million Instagram followers. They already got 1 million people following them on Facebook. They sell out shows. You feel me? They get concerts, right?
I think, celebrities too, is signing contracts that's like, you have this many followers and this many, I'm willing to pay for your brand or whatever based on. So with your ability to generate that, you are economizing this shit in some way. If your version of the dance is the best version of a dance somebody got, that traffic is helping you stream revenue in one way or another. So my biggest take is, like, use the platforms. Any publicity is good publicity. Get in your face everywhere it's supposed to be. That's the algorithm, right? For how people take their brand to the next level. But like the same way we talk about not having no politics, it's like we don't have to write the word or write it down on the piece of paper and put it somewhere for you to know that you're gonna kill mamas and babies. Like, we don't gotta put it everywhere for you to know that you can take your access, your ability to take this up and leave some space or some avenue open. Like, just don't touch that part. I think that is a fair approach to making sure young content creators can talk. What do
you want to chime in on that, George, before we head out this house?
Mike, you want something?
Man, I think the last thing I say is that
I think he has some issues with his speaker.
I think I can agree with it. You know what I'm saying, for the most part, is that what you said in terms of TikTok being for the creative content curators. Is that I feel like, the nature of TikTok is that once you press that post button, it don't matter if you delete the video. Somebody else duet your video, so it'll always be up. Somebody can take the audio and put something else behind it. I think it's just like I feel like you got to know that when you get on TikTok, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then when I was talking, made me think about the TikTok trend that blew up over the quarantine. That boy in the house, but I'm in the house board, or in the house, but I'm in the house board. And somebody literally beating on their chest. You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Yeah, that was a vid. Like he made like his TikTok video was him rapping that. Yeah.
Yeah. OJ Simpson first video hopping on there. It's OJ Simpson. You know what I'm saying? It's him doing that board in the house board shit. You know what I'm saying?
But so the one thing that
get what you're saying, but it's like hopefully when you make your content, you got some type of way for people to get back to you, or you making so much content. You feel me? That you're able to have it catch on. Okay? That's pretty much what I'm able to see from the content curators. You can have one video that go viral, and maybe you'll get a few followers off of that, and then maybe you got a little following. But the content curators that can make multiple videos and keep dropping hot videos, that's how you get known in terms of being a content curator. And I feel like that's really the difference on TikTok. You feel me? Difference between having 50,000 followers, 250,000 followers, 500,000 followers, and multiple, you know what I'm saying, millions. It's like shit. How much can you create hot videos?
So the last thing I say is, man, stop acting like y'all like we friends with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care if I can see your house on my, you know what I'm saying, on my Instagram, on my or on my TikTok. I don't care if y'all doing the same dance as us. You feel me? Like y'all doing what y'all do, and that's seeking attention. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people that's, I mean, really trying to make a little, like do a little thing, be creative. You know what I'm saying? And get recognized for their creative shit.
Joe Budden moment.
No, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, because like I just don't, man, whatever. You feel me? I guess. Shout out to Joe Budden. Shit. That, you know what I mean? If that's the worst.
We're trying to get attention on the podcast. Like with the trying to get attention. You the political plug, you are a part of this attention seeking.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to do that. You're right. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's just something about like celebrities and just intruding on specific spaces. You feel me? That like I always say, yo, big up normal people. And that's the thing about social media, because normal people can get like a wide array of following just based off them or being them organic selves. You feel me? And if celebrities with this fake intimacy in terms of this connection that we have, and it's just like reality shows. That shit ain't real, man. It's just like that's still you being a fucking celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm really just against celebrity worship. I feel like we should scrutinize them more than most people because because of the position that they in. They deserve more scrutiny. So if they start showing up in places where we at, you know what I'm saying, taking their attention away from, I don't want to. Yeah. That's my 2 cents on it. I mean, y'all already know where I was gonna stand with that shit.
George. I feel like that's the mixed feelings about. I feel like TikTok going more mainstream. I thought it was kind of dope about when the app was kind of more underground a little bit, and everybody, like, there was no celebrities at all on there. You know what I'm saying? And it was just everyday people trying to build their little followers. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of dope.
Yeah. Go ahead, put a pin in it, tell you. Cap it off.
Celebrities are here to stay. How we deal with them and relate to them will change. I think a lot about some white celebrity that was charging like some innate or an inordinate amount of money to like go on live, to like have VIP live sessions. And I think that's the place we're about to get into. The same way people got their, different platforms set up. George, you have this on Patreon where it's like this level of fan, and you want to vibe with me on a Thursday afternoon, you'll pay $300. If you only kind of want to vibe with me, I won't respond to anything you say to me, but I'll let you watch me have dinner with my family for $200. Like, I really feel like that's about to be the economy of it, because people can't have concerts, they can't have shows, they can't have venues. And so the one-on-one personal kind of
experience, I'm telling you, what's coming down to.
Yeah,
pay me to go live, and only you're gonna be on live, and I respond to the comments, or pay me to, you know what I'm saying, shit, shower, you're gonna be able to see nothing, but I'll be able, you know what I'm saying.
That's how they gonna make up for not being able to sell concert tickets and big ass venues, is make themselves a whole lot of individually available on that type of basis. The other thing we saw is
pay me $50 a month to watch me cook twice a month.
Yeah, we can't move in that direction.
Every time I work out, I'll let you tune in for $15 and you can maybe see what I do in the gym. Some crazy shit. But
shout out to the homie Zane.
We also see Trolls had one of the biggest online digital weekends that we've seen across the country. A lot of parents this weekend have been able to participate in. Also, another wave of popular culture and entertainment is that we're about to be watching brand new ass movies away from home. So be prepared. Like, the way we deal with celebrities, the way we take in their media, the way we take in their products is about to change drastically. And until then, catch a lot of these niggas on Instagram. And that's that on that. This has been the Entertainment Chop.
Yeah, man. Well, it's been real. Thank y'all for joining us. We went longer than we usually do, because we had a lot to talk about this time. So, yeah, y'all make sure y'all following the page, man. Y'all following the page. Follow us on YouTube at The Chop Up Show. Follow us on Facebook at The Chop Up. Yeah. Follow us on Instagram at It's The Chop Up Show on Instagram, right? The Chop Up Show. Yep. So yes, y'all make sure y'all follow us on all those places. You can find me at The Political Plug on all social media. George.
Yeah, FD Consciously spelled correctly. Spell. I guess correctly.
We hope. We hope.
TOYUH on everything. Holla at me.
Hey man, it's been real, and this has been the Chop Up. Y'all be easy. Stay safe.